Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I was getting started on another episode of What's Broke Today. And today I've got it's a little 120cc four-wheeler made by Tao, Tao, one of these good old Chinese four-wheelers. His kids quit riding it when the sprocket come loose and it flopped the chain off. But I'm looking at that, and it's like we got bearings that are a little loose, wheel hubs that are loose, and our hub adapter for our sprocket's loose. Of course, they've been out riding in the weeds. I mean, his kids definitely get good use out of this thing. That what I wanted to start out with is I was actually going to get this chain, see if I can get it back on the sprocket and get the bolts back in the sprocket. I just went to my bolt collection and got some metric bolts, but what I'm not sure is if I'll even be able to put the bolts in, that it may have messed up the threads in that hub. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not looking too good there right now for getting my bolts even started. So I'm going to have to run a thread chaser through there. It may just be this one's bent and throwing it out of alignment, but because he's had to rework the bolts here for the adjusting of the axle and that. Because I don't know how much they rode it with that flopping around. I didn't bring the right socket for that one anyway. And these bolts aren't even, they're not hard enough for this purpose anyway. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and see if I can finish pulling this apart, because that bolt's all jacked. Yeah. I'm going to have to clean up those threads, so yeah, things just in sad shape. But I almost bet I'm going to need bearings inside of here. I don't know. My big concern was hoping it didn't bend this hub, because if the sprocket don't set up here flush, and no matter what any kind of hub centric that it was doing, it's not doing now. So well, let me get some stuff together so I can clean up threads, and then we'll get back after it. All right. Now, when I was looking up stuff on this four-wheeler, of course, the disc brake bolts are loose. Yeah, so, and the hub for the rotor is the same as the hub for the sprocket. Now, let's see. Oh shit, that wasn't even tight. That may be why we have wobble in the bearings. Okay, well, I got tired of dilly-dallying around with um, the weight of the wheels on there. Didn't help anything. I thought, well, I can if I pull a few things apart, it'll make it easier to mess with that axle, because I want to check those bearings, because the axle seems loose. So thought, well, gonna order a chain for sure. Might even order a new sprocket back here, and the one up on the engine doesn't look quite as bad, but and really, I guess that isn't in terribly bad shape. And then I also put lock washers on it, which that's better than what it comes with from the factory. So and the nuts slide off, and then that will come off. And doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I'll have to look up bearings, because the one on the chain side don't feel too good. Those are 13s. And those are 14s. All right. Now I'm just going to clean this up and get the number right off the bearing. Might be about just as easy as trying to look up parts. Okay, I got parts. I got my new bearings, as in two. I'll start out with, I'm going to change the bearings first. Okay, knock out one bearing and the spacer tube, and it looks okay. Okay. That all looks good. There are little dings I made in it driving it out. Then we can take that up there. Almost gets it all the way in there, looks like. Over and put that in there. Okay. There's that. He's a little tired. And then next thing we got is I got new bolts to hold these on because of course I was missing 3 and those were loose. So I'm using red Loctite just because we don't want these coming back out. Some of the other things I'm gonna put Loctite on that were vibrating loose. I was going to use blue. You know, if it's something we'll have to maybe take apart again, but it's something you shouldn't have to take apart, I'm going to use this red. Okay, I'm going to change out our socket. And I ordered the 10.9 metric screws. All right, so those should be good to go. And we'll come up here and I'm just going to get these started because I still got to swap out that chain. And Now this will start out and put our sprocket on. And even with the new bearings, um, yeah, the axle is a few thousandths of an inch smaller than it should be. So needless to say, we really don't have, the axle's never going to be tight like we'd expect for it to, but that may just be part of a cheap four-wheeler. That, yeah, let's say that. Oh my, I got longer bolts than were originally on that, and I'm going to have to shorten them up. On the brake side, I never did notice or think, 'cause I had plenty of clearance on the sprocket side, and then I decided to change the brake side. And the bolts are a little too long and they hit the caliper bracket. Alright, I'm going to get a wheel and put in my angle grinder and just knock the tips of those off. Alright, so cut the bolts down. Yep, and we wasn't missing by much of it clearing, so I'll finish tightening that up after I get it more put back together, because kind of hard to hold it the way it is. But I think next thing I need to do is get this chain, pop the master link, and pull it off there. So got my screwdriver. I'm just gonna all right. Their master link loose. Pull that off. Separate that and just pull this out. Now lay out the old chain. And get my new one. Alright, so we gotta take it apart right there. What are you doing, cat? All right. Should buy a chain breaker. It'd work a lot easier. Yeah, let me just go get an 8mm and pull that cover off. This is where sometimes it's quicker to just pull a couple screws out. That like that. Let me go get my new master link. That lined up like that. Put that through there. Put the outer link on. And then I'm going to put this going with the slot toward the rear so that if they happen to run over something and it catches, it won't flip this master link off. Like that. And then that'll be good. I think I'll put blue on these, just mainly. If you're got to adjust the chain, you don't already have to fight this enough getting in here to loosen these stupid things. Okay, now when I tighten these up, got to try and get the right amount of slack in the chain. But I know with this being a new chain, it's going to stretch a little. So I may get it just a little tighter than I normally would. Because most of these we get, about an inch or so of slack. Okay. course, I want to rotate it, make sure everything moves freely. And see there, just that little bit of turning I did, look how much slack I got. So next thing I want to put on is the brake. I'll have to go get the right socket for this because I put tools away after I took this all apart. All right. That looks good. Almost needs a grade 8 washer, but I don't know how old this thing is, but man, look at the dry rotting in the tires. And it seems like this is not that old. Now I'm going to put my nuts up, make sure I got both of them on the axle. The initial nut I need plus the lock nut. And I'm going to go get a socket to tighten these wheels up. That up there. And tighten these as best we can because these wheels are so sloppy on those splines. I don't know what do you do about it. But at least this side, the end of the axle's bigger. Okay, then all right. And then the next thing I was going to do is, see, I got a lot of things like these little bolts here have lock nuts on the back side, but things like the footrest here just screw into the like nuts in the frame. So I'm going to take all of these, well, say anything that I'm not likely to have to remove, and put red thread lock on them and then put them back in. So that way maybe they won't have to keep tightening all of these up. And like for that, I think I'm going to have to loosen them all up. I'm going to guess he might have thread locked some of these already because that one came out kind of hard. Yeah, just loosen things like that up, and And one I just thread locked. I dropped on the floor, but yeah, so I can pull that all the way off and then put thread lock on the bolts and then get everything restarted. Then I can grab the footrest. I'll just start out, since I already got thread lock on that one, go ahead and put it back in the hole and at least get it started. And then I'll lay my rag up here on the seat and then put my bolts on it, and I'll just come up here and of course I took these out and they are clean, so I think the only thing holding them in was dirt. I'll take my other 10 millimeter headed one and the footrest back up and get it started. I'll grab my 13s and reach under here and start them. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to continue this around the bike because, like I say, a lot of these have lock nuts on the back side, but anything that doesn't is going to get a thread lock. Like I say, depending on what it is, depends on what color it gets. So I finish that up. I don't know that I need to record all of that. Well, I got the little four-wheeler all done. That the only two things I did after I videotaped or quit taping last time was the axle nuts down there. I snugged them up, wrote it, then finished tightening them up, and then put Loctite on the outside lock nut. And then it had a hideous vibration, and this bolt right down here was missing. So I went through my stash and found a bolt long enough, because the motor is rubber mounted in the holes where it mounts down here and up here, and that was on the metal, so it rattled your teeth. But then after fixing the bolt, tightening up the axle, took it out for another drive, thing worked like a champ. Gets up and goes, actually pulls me around for being the size four-wheeler it is. But hey, I do appreciate you watching. Always appreciate those thumbs up for the likes. Thanks for all those comments, and I'll say big shout out to all my subscribers that are watching my videos, and I do appreciate you. And if you're not a subscriber, better join on in, because I'll tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.